Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a subject that strikes at the heart of human relationships: how to handle those who don't respect you. Disrespect is a challenge we all face at some point, but it does not have to define us, nor should it derail us from our purpose. Let me share with you 5 principles that will help you rise above disrespect and navigate these interactions with wisdom and strength. Your worth is not determined by others' opinions or actions. It is inherent and unchanging. This is a profound truth that serves as a foundation for navigating life, especially when confronted with disrespect. Understanding your intrinsic value is not simply about feeling good about yourself. It is about anchoring your sense of identity in something unshakable. People often base their self-worth on external factors, the approval of others, professional achievements, or material possessions. While these may bring temporary satisfaction, they are fleeting and unreliable sources of validation. True self-worth is not given by others, nor can it be taken away. It exists independently of circumstances or opinions. Recognizing this is the first and most critical step in handling disrespect with grace and confidence. When you rely on the opinions of others to define your value, you become vulnerable to their judgments. A negative comment, a dismissive attitude, or outright disrespect can send you spiraling into self-doubt if your identity is tied to external validation. But when you internalize the truth that your worth is inherent, rooted in your unique individuality and purpose, others' actions lose their power to diminish you. Their disrespect reflects their perception, not your reality. This mindset shift is transformative because it liberates you from the need to seek approval and allows you to stand firm in who you are, regardless of how others treat you. Recognizing your worth also equips you to rise above the noise of disrespect. People who disrespect others often do so out of their own insecurities, frustrations, or need to assert control. They project their issues onto others, hoping to elicit or rejoice confidence. When you understand your value, you no longer feel compelled to defend or prove yourself to such individuals. You can remain calm, grounded, and unbothered by their attempts to undermine you. This doesn't mean you ignore disrespect. It means you address it from a place of confidence, not desperation. Believing in your inherent value also influences the way you carry yourself. People who respect themselves naturally command respect from others. Your self-perception shapes your body language, tone of voice, and overall demeanor. When you exude confidence, others are less likely to treat you disrespectfully. Conversely, if you doubt your worth, it can inadvertently invite disrespect, as people may sense your insecurity. Thus, knowing your value is not just an internal affirmation, it is a practical tool that shapes how you interact with the world. It's important to note that recognizing your worth doesn't imply arrogance or a superiority complex. It's not about believing you're better than others, it's about understanding that you are enough as you are. This quiet confidence allows you to navigate life with humility and strength. When faced with disrespect, this self-assuredness enables you to respond without stooping to the level of the offender. It allows you to choose your battles wisely, preserving your energy for what truly matters. Your sense of worth also serves as a protective shield against the emotional impact of disrespect. Words and actions that might otherwise sting or provoke you lose their power when you know they don't define you. This doesn't mean you won't feel hurt at times. Disrespect can be painful, especially when it comes from someone you care about. However, understanding your value ensures that the hurt doesn't linger or erode your self-esteem. You can acknowledge the offense, process your emotions, and move forward without internalizing the negativity. In practical terms, affirming your worth involves regular self-reflection and positive reinforcement. Surround yourself with reminders of your strengths, achievements, and the qualities that make you unique, whether through journaling, affirmations, or engaging in activities that align with your passions. Cultivate a deep sense of self-awareness and self-appreciation. Additionally, seek relationships with people who recognize and honor your value. Positive connections reinforce your sense of worth and provide a counterbalance to the negativity you may encounter elsewhere. Finally, understanding your worth empowers you to advocate for yourself. When you know your value, you won't tolerate disrespectful behavior or allow others to diminish you. This doesn't mean engaging in constant confrontation, but it does mean standing up for yourself when necessary. You can do so calmly and assertively, knowing that your worth is not up for negotiation. This self-advocacy reinforces your boundaries and sends a clear message: you respect yourself and expect the same from others. In conclusion, recognizing your worth is the cornerstone of handling disrespect effectively. It liberates you from the need for external validation, equips you to rise above negativity, and empowers you to advocate for yourself. This understanding not only strengthens your resilience, but also sets the tone for how others perceive and treat you. When you truly know your value, no amount of disrespect can shake your confidence or hinder your purpose. Disrespect often evokes a natural and immediate reaction, a rush of emotions such as anger, frustration, or hurt. These feelings can compel us to respond in ways we later regret, escalating the conflict rather than resolving it. However, the ability to handle disrespect effectively lies in choosing to respond intentionally rather than reacting impulsively. The distinction between reacting and responding is subtle but critical. A reaction is an instinctive emotional reply, often driven by the heat of the moment. A response, on the other hand, is measured, thoughtful, and rooted in self-control. Mastering this difference is key to maintaining your dignity and managing interactions with those who show you disrespect. When someone disrespects you, your initial impulse might be to retaliate, defend yourself, or lash out. These reactions are understandable. They stem from a primal desire to protect yourself from harm or assert your worth. However, reacting without thought often gives power to the person who disrespected you. They may see your reaction as evidence that they've succeeded in upsetting you or exerting control over your emotions. By contrast, when you respond thoughtfully, you maintain the upper hand, showing that you are not easily rattled or controlled by negativity. Responding rather than reacting begins with a pause. In the moment of disrespect, give yourself the space to breathe and process what just happened. This brief pause allows you to assess the situation objectively and decide on the most appropriate course of action. It prevents you from being swept away by the intensity of your emotions and gives you the clarity to consider whether the situation even warrants a response. Often, simply choosing not to engage is the most powerful statement you can make. Silence can speak volumes, signaling that you refuse to dignify disrespect with attention or validation. If you choose to respond, the key is to do so in a way that reflects your values and inner strength. A measured response doesn't mean you suppress your feelings or allow others to walk over you. It means expressing yourself in a way that upholds your dignity and reinforces your boundaries. For example, you might calmly address the behavior by saying, "I don't appreciate being spoken to that way," or "let's keep this conversation respectful." These statements are firm yet composed, making it clear that you will not tolerate disrespect while avoiding unnecessary escalation. Another important aspect of responding thoughtfully is recognizing the motivations behind the disrespect. Often, people act disrespectfully because they are dealing with their own unresolved issues, anger, insecurity, or frustration. Their behavior may have little to do with you and more to do with what they are experiencing internally. Understanding this can help you depersonalize the interaction and approach it with empathy rather than hostility. While you are not obligated to excuse or tolerate disrespect, this perspective can guide your response and help you remain emotionally detached from negativity. Choosing to respond thoughtfully also involves maintaining control over your tone and body language. Nonverbal cues such as posture, facial expressions, and gestures can communicate just as much as words, if not more. A calm demeanor, steady eye contact, and an even tone of voice convey confidence and composure, even in the face of provocation. These signals demonstrate that you are in control of yourself, which can often disarm the other person and diffuse the situation. Moreover, thoughtful responses prioritize resolution over retaliation. When faced with disrespect, it's tempting to fight fire with fire and meet negativity with more negativity. However, this approach rarely leads to a productive outcome and often damages relationships further. Instead, aim to address the issue constructively. Ask questions to clarify intentions, express your perspective calmly, and seek a resolution that upholds your boundaries while fostering mutual understanding. For instance, you might say, "It seems like you're upset about something. Can we talk about it calmly?" This approach shifts the focus from conflict to resolution and shows that you are willing to engage in a respectful dialogue. It's also worth noting that choosing to respond rather than react is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending that the disrespect doesn't bother you. It's natural to feel hurt, angry, or frustrated when someone treats you poorly. Acknowledge these feelings privately and allow yourself to process them in a healthy way, whether through journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or seeking professional guidance. By addressing your emotions constructively, you ensure that they don't cloud your judgment or dictate your actions in the moment. In summary, the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively is a skill that requires practice and self-awareness. It begins with pausing to assess the situation, choosing whether or how to engage, and crafting a response that reflects your inner strength and values. By maintaining control over your emotions, tone, and demeanor, you demonstrate maturity and self-respect. This approach not only diffuses potential conflicts, but also reinforces your dignity, ensuring that you handle disrespect in a way that uplifts you rather than diminishing you. Setting boundaries is a fundamental aspect of self-respect and a critical strategy for handling disrespect. Boundaries serve as invisible lines that define what you will and will not tolerate in your interactions with others. They are not about controlling other people's behavior, but about protecting your peace and maintaining your dignity. When someone disrespects you, they often test the limits of what you are willing to accept. Without clear boundaries, you may inadvertently invite continued disrespect. Establishing and enforcing boundaries is a way of teaching others how to treat you while preserving your emotional and mental well-being. The process of setting boundaries begins with self-awareness. Before you can communicate your limits to others, you must first understand what those limits are. Reflect on your values, priorities, and emotional triggers. Ask yourself what kinds of behavior make you feel disrespected or uncomfortable. For instance, do you feel disrespected when someone interrupts you repeatedly, speaks to you in a condescending tone, or invades your personal space? By identifying these patterns, you gain clarity about where your boundaries lie and why they matter to you. Clarity is essential when setting boundaries. A vague or ambiguous language, as it can leave room for misunderstanding or manipulation. Be specific about what you expect and what the consequences will be if the boundary is crossed. For example, if someone consistently interrupts you during conversations, you might say, "I value being able to share my thoughts without interruptions. If this continues, I may need to pause the conversation until we can both communicate respectfully." This statement not only sets a clear boundary, but also outlines the action you will take if it is not respected. It's important to recognize that setting boundaries does not always guarantee that others will respect them. Some people may react defensively or dismissively when confronted with your limits. They might accuse you of being too sensitive or attempt to guilt you into compromising your stance. These reactions are not a reflection of your worth or the validity of your boundaries, but rather an indication of their inability to respect them. In such cases, standing firm in your boundaries becomes an act of self-respect. Remember, you are not responsible for how others respond to your boundaries. You are only responsible for communicating and upholding them. Boundaries are not about creating walls or shutting people out. Instead, they're about establishing healthy parameters that allow for respectful and meaningful interactions. When communicated and enforced appropriately, boundaries can strengthen relationships by fostering mutual understanding and respect. They create a sense of security for both parties as they clarify expectations and reduce the likelihood of misunderstandings or conflicts. In addition to setting boundaries with others, it's equally important to set boundaries with yourself. This includes recognizing when you might be overextending yourself or compromising your values to accommodate others. For example, if you find yourself constantly saying yes to requests out of fear of disappointing others, you may need to set a personal boundary around how much time or energy you are willing to give. Self-imposed boundaries help you prioritize your well-being and prevent burnout, ensuring that you have the capacity to handle disrespectful situations with clarity and composure. Finally, setting boundaries is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. As you grow and evolve, your boundaries may change, and it's important to reassess them periodically. Relationships and circumstances also shift, requiring you to adapt your boundaries accordingly. Stay attuned to your feelings and needs, and don't hesitate to revise or reinforce your boundaries as necessary. This adaptability ensures that your boundaries remain effective and aligned with your values. In conclusion, setting boundaries is a powerful tool for managing disrespect and maintaining your self-respect. It requires self-awareness, clear communication, and consistent enforcement. By establishing and upholding boundaries, you teach others how to treat you and create a foundation for healthier and more respectful interactions. Boundaries are not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your strength and commitment to honoring yourself. When dealing with disrespect, one of the most liberating realizations you can have is that it is rarely about you. People's behavior often reflects their inner struggles, insecurities, or frustrations rather than anything you have done. Understanding this is a powerful tool that allows you to disengage emotionally from the negativity and avoid internalizing their actions or words. Taking disrespect personally can lead to unnecessary pain, self-doubt, and resentment. But recognizing the deeper dynamics have frees you from carrying burdens that were never yours to bear. Disrespect can sting because it feels like a direct attack on your identity or worth. A dismissive remark, a condescending tone, or an outright insult may trigger feelings of inadequacy or hurt. However, it's crucial to pause and ask yourself, is this truly about me? In many cases, the answer is no. People project their emotions and experiences onto others, often unaware of how their behavior affects those around them. Their disrespect may stem from their own unhappiness, past traumas, or even a desire to assert control in situations where they feel powerless. For example, consider someone who is consistently rude or dismissive in conversations. This behavior may not be a reflection of your contributions to the discussion, but rather their own struggles with insecurity or a need to dominate others to feel validated. When you view their behavior through this lens, it becomes easier to detach from it emotionally. Instead of absorbing their negativity, you can see it as a symptom of their challenges, not a reflection of your value or capabilities. Detaching from disrespect doesn't mean ignoring it or pretending it doesn't affect you. It means choosing not to let it define your self-perception or dictate your emotions. When you take disrespect personally, you give the other person power over your inner state. Their words or actions may linger in your mind, eroding your confidence and self-esteem. By recognizing that their behavior is more about them than you, you reclaim your power and protect your emotional well-being. This perspective also fosters empathy, which can be a surprising but effective response to disrespect. Empathy doesn't excuse poor behavior, but it allows you to approach the situation with understanding rather than anger. For instance, if someone lashes out at you in frustration, you might recognize that they're dealing with stress or overwhelm. While this doesn't make their actions acceptable, it can soften your emotional reaction and help you respond with calmness rather than defensiveness. Responding with empathy can even disarm the other person, potentially shifting the dynamic of the interaction. Recognizing that disrespect isn't personal also helps you avoid unnecessary confrontations. Not every slight or insult requires a response, especially when you understand that the behavior is rooted in the other person's issues. In some cases, the best course of action is simply to walk away or disengage. This isn't about avoiding conflict out of fear, but about choosing your battles wisely. By not taking the bait, you preserve your energy for situations that truly matter and deserve your attention. This principle is particularly important when dealing with persistent or habitual disrespect. Some people may repeatedly cross boundaries or behave poorly despite your efforts to address the issue. In these cases, internalizing their actions can lead to frustration and exhaustion. Instead, remind yourself that their behavior is a reflection of their character, not yours. You cannot control their actions, but you can control your response. Focus on maintaining your composure, reinforcing your boundaries, and prioritizing your well-being. A practical way to avoid internalizing disrespect is to cultivate a strong sense of self. When you have a clear understanding of your values, strengths, and worth, other people's opinions or actions carry less weight. Their negativity doesn't shake your foundation because you are grounded in your identity. Regular self-reflection, affirmations, and mindfulness practices can help you build this inner resilience. Surrounding yourself with supportive and uplifting people also reinforces your confidence and provides a buffer against negativity. Another effective strategy is to reframe the experience. Instead of viewing disrespect as an attack on you, see it as an opportunity to practice patience, self-control, and emotional intelligence. Each instance of disrespect becomes a chance to grow stronger and more resilient. This mindset shift transforms the situation from a source of pain into a stepping stone for personal development. It's also helpful to seek support from trusted friends, mentors, or counselors when dealing with disrespect. Talking through the experience with someone who understands and values you can provide validation and perspective. They can remind you of your worth and help you process the emotions stirred by the interaction. Their insight can also shed light on patterns or dynamics you might not have noticed, empowering you to handle similar situations more effectively in the future. In summary, not taking disrespect personally is a liberating approach that allows you to rise above negativity and protect your emotional well-being. By understanding that disrespect often reflects the other person's struggles rather than your worth, you free yourself from the weight of their behavior. This perspective fosters empathy, reduces unnecessary conflict, and empowers you to respond with grace and resilience. Instead of letting disrespect diminish you, use it as an opportunity to reaffirm your strength and deepen your understanding of yourself and others. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your outlook, behavior, and overall well-being. This is especially true when it comes to handling disrespect. If your environment is filled with negative or disrespectful influences, it can wear down your confidence and resilience over time. Conversely, cultivating a circle of supportive, positive individuals who value and respect you can fortify your self-esteem and provide the encouragement needed to rise above negativity. Surrounding yourself with the right people is not just a matter of comfort, it is a powerful strategy for managing disrespect and maintaining your sense of self-worth. Positive relationships act as a buffer against the effects of disrespect. When someone treats you poorly, it can be easy to internalize their behavior and begin questioning your own worth. However, having a network of people who genuinely care for you and treat you with respect serves as a constant reminder of your value. These relationships provide a safe space where you can process your emotions, seek advice, and regain your perspective. They help you see the bigger picture, reminding you that one person's negativity does not define your identity. The presence of positive influences also reinforces your boundaries. When you're surrounded by people who respect and honor your limits, it becomes easier to enforce those boundaries in other areas of your life. These supportive individuals set an example of how healthy relationships should function, making it clear that mutual respect and understanding are non-negotiable. Their behavior helps you recognize what you deserve and strengthens your resolve to demand the same treatment from others. Furthermore, positive people encourage growth and self-improvement, helping you handle disrespect more effectively. They challenge you to rise above negativity and focus on what truly matters. For instance, a trusted friend might remind you not to dwell on a hurtful comment or suggest ways to respond with grace and composure. They can offer a fresh perspective, helping you see the situation in a new light and empowering you to respond from a place of strength rather than insecurity. One of the most significant benefits of surrounding yourself with positive influences is the emotional support they provide. Disrespectful encounters can leave you feeling hurt, frustrated, or even angry. In these moments, having someone to confide in can make all the difference. A supportive person listens without judgment, validates your feelings, and helps you process the experience. They offer comfort and encouragement, reminding you that you are not alone in facing these challenges. Their presence can be a source of solace and strength, enabling you to move forward with confidence. In addition to emotional support, positive relationships often provide practical guidance. A mentor, friend, or family member with experience in handling similar situations can share valuable advice on how to navigate disrespect. They might suggest ways to communicate your boundaries effectively, strategies for managing your emotions, or techniques for maintaining your composure under pressure. Learning from their experiences can equip you with the tools needed to address disrespect in a constructive and empowering way. It's important to note that surrounding yourself with positive influences doesn't mean avoiding conflict or surrounding yourself with people who only agree with you. Healthy relationships include individuals who challenge you constructively, offering honest feedback and helping you grow. These people don't shy away from difficult conversations, but they approach them with kindness and respect. Their ability to balance honesty with compassion is what makes their influence so valuable. While cultivating positive relationships is essential, it's equally important to distance yourself from toxic or disrespectful individuals. If someone consistently undermines your confidence, disregards your boundaries, or treats you poorly, it may be necessary to reevaluate their role in your life. This doesn't mean cutting people off hastily or without consideration, but it does mean prioritizing your well-being and surrounding yourself with those who uplift rather than diminish you. Sometimes creating space from certain individuals is the healthiest choice you can make. Building a circle of positive influences requires intentionality. Seek out people who share your values, inspire you, and demonstrate the qualities you admire. This might involve joining communities, participating in activities you're passionate about, or reconnecting with old friends who bring out the best in you. Be open to forming new connections while nurturing existing relationships that contribute positively to your life. Remember that the goal is quality, not quantity. Having a few deeply supportive relationships is far more impactful than a large number of shallow ones. In the same vein, strive to be a positive influence for others. Relationships are reciprocal, and the energy you bring to interactions influences the dynamic. By treating others with respect, kindness, and understanding, you set the tone for how you wish to be treated in return. Being a source of positivity not only strengthens your connections, but also reinforces your self-respect and resilience. In summary, surrounding yourself with positive influences is a vital strategy for handling disrespect and maintaining your sense of worth. These individuals provide emotional support, practical guidance, and a constant reminder of your value. They help you enforce your boundaries, encourage your growth, and offer solace in challenging moments. By cultivating relationships with people who uplift and respect you, you create an environment where negativity loses its power and your confidence flourishes. The presence of positive influences is a powerful antidote to disrespect, reminding you of your strength and worth every step of the way. True strength in the face of disrespect lies in your ability to prioritize your peace and growth above all else. Walking away from toxic situations or people who continually show you disrespect is not a sign of weakness, but a profound demonstration of self-respect and emotional intelligence. It requires the courage to acknowledge that not every situation can be fixed, not every person will change, and that your well-being matters more than holding on to relationships or circumstances that diminish you. Walking away is not about avoidance or defeat. It is about making a deliberate choice to protect your peace and focus on what truly adds value to your life. When someone repeatedly disrespects you despite your efforts to address the issue, it signals a lack of willingness or capacity on their part to engage in a healthy relationship. Continuing to invest time and energy in such situations often leads to frustration, resentment, and a sense of powerlessness. By choosing to walk away, you reclaim your power and assert that you will not tolerate treatment that undermines your dignity. This decision is an act of self-care, a declaration that you prioritize your mental, emotional health over the need for external validation or resolution. Walking away also reflects maturity and self-control. It can be tempting to stay and argue, hoping to prove your point or force the other person to acknowledge their behavior. However, this approach rarely leads to meaningful change and often escalates the conflict. By stepping away, you demonstrate that you are not ruled by anger or the need to win an argument. Instead, you choose a path that preserves your peace and allows you to move forward without carrying the weight of unnecessary negativity. Choosing to walk away can be particularly challenging when the disrespect comes from someone close to you, such as a family member, a friend, or colleague. These relationships often carry emotional attachments, shared history, or professional obligations that make it difficult to disengage. In such cases, walking away doesn't always mean cutting ties entirely. It might involve creating distance, setting firmer boundaries, or limiting interactions to what is necessary or healthy. The goal is to create an environment where you feel respected and valued, even if that means redefining the nature of the relationship. Walking away also applies to situations, not just individuals. Sometimes it's the circumstances you find yourself in a toxic work environment, an unproductive argument, or a social setting filled with negativity that require you to step back. Recognizing when a situation no longer serves your growth or peace is a skill that comes with self-awareness and experience. It involves assessing whether staying aligns with your values and contributes to your well-being. If the answer is no, leaving becomes an empowering choice that opens the door to better opportunities and healthier environments. While walking away is empowering, it's also important to approach it with intention and reflection. Before making the decision, take time to evaluate the situation and your feelings. Ask yourself, have I clearly communicated my boundaries? Have I given the other person or the situation a fair chance to change? Is staying here compromising my peace or self-respect? These questions help ensure that yours to walk away is thoughtful rather than impulsive. It's not about fleeing from every challenge, but about knowing when a situation has reached its limits and no longer aligns with your values or goals. Walking away also requires faith in what lies ahead. Letting go of a toxic relationship or environment can feel daunting, especially if it has been a significant part of your life. Fear of the unknown might tempt you to stay in familiar, albeit unhealthy circumstances. However, walking away is an act of trust in yourself and the future. It's a belief that better things await you when you make space for them. By releasing what no longer serves you, you create room for relationships, opportunities, and experiences that uplift and inspire you. In the aftermath of walking away, it's crucial to focus on healing and growth. Disrespect can leave emotional scars, and taking time to process your feelings is essential. Engage in practices that nurture your well-being, such as journaling, therapy, meditation, or spending time with supportive individuals. Reflect on what the experience taught you about your values, boundaries, and resilience. Use these insights to strengthen your sense of self and prepare for future interactions with confidence and clarity. Walking away doesn't mean giving up on others or losing hope in relationships. It means recognizing that you cannot change someone else's behavior or force respect from those unwilling to give it. Your energy is better spent nurturing connections with those who see and appreciate your worth. Walking away is not about closing your heart, but about redirecting your focus toward people and situations that enrich your life rather than drain it. Ultimately, walking away from disrespect is a powerful act of self-respect. It signals to the world and to yourself that you refuse to settle for less than you deserve. It's a statement that your peace, happiness, and growth are non-negotiable. While the decision may be difficult in the moment, it is often the most liberating and transformative choice you can make. By choosing yourself over toxicity, you pave the way for a life filled with respect, positivity, and fulfillment. In conclusion, dealing with disrespect is a test of self-awareness, strength, and emotional intelligence. It's a journey of learning to protect your peace, uphold your values, and honor your worth. By choosing not to retaliate impulsively, setting firm boundaries, recognizing that disrespect often reflects others' issues rather than your own, surrounding yourself with positive influences, and knowing when to walk away, you assert control over how you are treated and how you respond. These actions are not about proving your worth to others, but affirming it to yourself. Life is too precious to be weighed down by the negativity of others. You have the power to rise above disrespect by focusing on you creating an environment of respect and positivity around you. The way you handle these challenges not only protects your self-esteem, but also sets an example for others to follow. It reminds you that your dignity and peace are non-negotiable, and that no one's behavior has the power to diminish your value unless you allow it. Ultimately, the ability to navigate disrespect with grace and strength is a testament to your character. It reflects your commitment to living with purpose, courage, and authenticity. Embrace these principles and let them guide you in creating a life where respect and self-worth are at the forefront, no matter the circumstances or the people you encounter.